The first thing we want to do to get started on our non-traditional al pastor tacos, truthfully, is making a marinade up. And so they didn't have any chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, so I am actually trying the chipotle salsa right here. And so I'm pretty sure it's gonna give me what I want, the same thing, but I've got my Ninja here. I'm gonna go with a, what is this, 8 ounces right here? No, 7 ounces, I was pretty close. Now we're also gonna give it a little bit of cilantro in here. Now I've got 1 jalapeno de-seeded, okay, it's a small one. I've got half of a red onion quartered up. I've got about 8 pieces of whole garlic in there, and I'm gonna put the juice from 2 limes in here, and actually put a lime peel in there. Of course, we gotta have a little bit of oil, and I'm coming with some of that garlic jalapeno rub. You can use whatever you like, just what I'm doing. I'm gonna go about 2 tablespoons, 1.5, something like that. And get my lid on here, get ready to pulse this up. Flavor Town. All right, now that we've got our marinade all mixed up, I've got some Prairie Fresh right here, all natural pork tenderloins, okay? Now, usually these come in a 2-pack, and I know this is a 2-pack. I'm only gonna use a single tenderloin today. I'm gonna take my other one here and slide it in a sandwich bag, set it to the side, seal that up, and I'm gonna do something else with that later on. As you can see, I've got this pork tenderloin laid out here. It don't have a lot of fat on it, but I am gonna trim a little bit of this silver skin off before I put my marinade on it. And something else I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this thing in half. So this half right here looks absolutely great. This half right here is the one that needs a little bit of trimming. And this is really totally optional, but I don't want that on there for me. Tell y'all what I'm gonna do now. Now let's take this right here. I'm gonna go into it and slice it open. Now why am I doing that? To get more marinade on that surface. And that's the more bark that we can have. Kind of mash it down flat there. All right. Now, I've got a 1-gallon Ziploc bag here. I'm gonna get my pieces of pork tenderloin laid in here. Let's get our marinade poured in. Now, I'm gonna wash my hands, seal that bag up, and massage it around. Get it in the fridge for about 1 to 2 hours to really marinate and let those flavors come together. Then we're gonna grill it up, fire up our Weber kettle, get a little bit of char on this pineapple and this pork, and make some delicious tacos. Now I have added a little bit of water right here to finish washing some of this out. Got the majority of it out of there. All right, let's get this in the fridge, let it set a while, and we're gonna get our grill prepped and ready and all of our ingredients, and it's gonna be time to do some al pastor tacos. All right, let's make a simple dry rub for our al pastor tacos. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of my beef rub, and I said that right, beef rub. It's heavy salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, a little bit of red pepper, cumin, etc. I'm gonna go about a teaspoon of it. I'm gonna go about a teaspoon of my garlic jalapeno rub here. Now I'm gonna come back with a little bit of paprika, just for some color, about a half a teaspoon of that, about a half a teaspoon of ancho chili powder. I'm gonna amp those flavors up a little bit, and then I'm gonna amp up those flavors a little bit more with a little bit of cumin. And I'm gonna go about the same with that. Now that is it. Now once you get that all mixed up, I'm gonna pinch it and taste it if it's like I want. That's got some flavor to it. That ancho chili powder really amps that up. That extra cumin, a little bit of beef rub for that pop. That's what we're looking for. All right, let's cut a pineapple down. Now I'm just gonna use this pineapple and grill some chunks So I'm gonna kind of cut it just into wedges. You can use a quarter if you want. I'm not trying to be that precise today. Now we got our pineapple chunked up, I'm gonna set it to the side, get everything else prepped and ready, and we're gonna grill some tacos. Let's fire up some charcoal. It's just that easy. All right, now that we pulled the tab off the bag here, I'm gonna show you guys these new Royal Oak supersized briquettes with hickory built in it. Look at that, at all those pieces of hickory compressed in that. This is a game changer. It's just that easy. Now, once this gets ready, we're gonna dump it in and grill some tacos. All right, our charcoal is almost ash over all the way. I'm gonna go ahead and dump it out, get our grill grate on, let everything get set, let our grill come up to temp. We're gonna grill these tacos off. I'm gonna set this up for a 2-zone fire. Now that we've got that set up, I'm gonna get my grill grate on and my lid, let it stabilize the grill while I season the meat. All right, it's time to grill off our al pastor tacos. Now I'm gonna get it out of this marinade here and try to get some of the liquid off. Shake some of that off. Oh yeah, that's Flavor City right there. All right. Now we're gonna discard the rest of this, even though it smells absolutely divine. Now I'm gonna take and put a little bit of our spice mixture on here that we made up. Now I may take a little bit of this out to the grill. I'm gonna sprinkle some on the pineapple, and as this cooks, some of the marinade may come off, so I am gonna re-season a little bit as I'm cooking, and then we'll get it all back in here, dice it up, and I cannot wait to have these tacos today, y'all. I'm gonna get our lid off here. Here we go, I'm going down. Ooh, I wish y'all could smell that. I'm gonna put me a little pineapple here. Start getting a little char on this pineapple. I can always move it off of the fire. Now I'm gonna let this grill lid back on, and I'm gonna let this go a few minutes, and we're gonna get in here and flip it and rotate it and flip it and rotate it. We're just trying to get it done. We know that pork loin gets done about 140 degrees, 145. It does not matter on this taco if it goes over just a little bit. It should be completely fine because we're dicing it all up and chopping it up anyway. So let's just get some char on it. All right, now that our pork loin is rested, let's get that and our pineapple diced up in a bowl. Now I'm just gonna cut our pork into thin, small pieces and then cut it up. Whew, I wish y'all could smell that. Now that we've got everything all diced up and done up like we want, it's time to assemble some tacos. I'm gonna go ahead and take a corn tortilla here, a couple of them that we warmed up. Now, the first thing I want to do is recap. We took a petite pork tenderloin, cut it in half, kind of butterflied it open. We made a marinade up. We took a 7-ounce can of chipotle salsa, about a quarter or just a head of a cup of chopped cilantro, just tear it off and throw it in there. 1 jalapeno de-seeded, the juice of 2 limes, a little bit of olive oil, some garlic jalapeno rub, and we let all that come together and marinate for a while. Then we made up a rub of beef rub, garlic jalapeno, a half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of ancho chili powder, and cumin. That made a great fajita style rub for these tacos. And now that we've got it off the grill, we cooked it on our Weber kettle, fired up with the new Royal Oak Hickory supersized briquette charcoal. And I can tell you it done a great job, great char on this. Let's build these tacos now. We've got 3 corn tortillas. I'm gonna take and put a little bit of meat on here. I like a hearty taco, I can't speak for anybody else. But now, once we get a little bit of pork and pineapple on there, it's easy. I'm gonna come back with a little bit of cilantro on each one. Now, if you don't like cilantro, leave it out. You don't have to do it. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of white onion. How about the juice of a little bit of a lime? Now I'm gonna come in here with a little bit of this tomatillo sauce. This is totally optional, completely up to you. I want just a sliver of that to help tie this dish all together. I can pick this up right here. Now that is a taco. Woo! Now the last thing to do is get in here and try this. So just remember, this is not the traditional al pastor taco that you're used to having. This is just a quick fix when you're wanting something delicious and flavorful that's gonna mimic a traditional al pastor taco. So let's give it a try. That is flavor. Y'all have got to give this one a try. That is, I don't even want to talk. This is lights out, one of the most easy recipes that I have done, and one of the most flavorful recipes I have cooked.